Hello GED students, it's GED question of the daytime, and man, we are deep into our series of writing equations of lines. So if you don't have any background knowledge in this, I suggest you go back and look at the older videos so you don't feel so lost, because I'm about to hit the deep water. Here we go. It says write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form that runs through the origin and -3, 2. So first of all, what are they looking for? The answer that they're looking for is actually an equation, not a single number, okay? Write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. And you might say that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but I'll remind you that there is a formula for this on the formula sheet. The equation of a line in slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And we said you need to do two things to take this from a specific or a generic equation of a line into a specific equation of a line. You need to replace m, the letter m, with the actual slope of your line. And you need to replace b, the letter b, with the actual numeric y-intercept of your line. So two things you need. You need the slope and the y-intercept. Now, they were brats, and the GED usually is. They did not give you what you need. Let's take a look at this. It says that our equation of a line runs through the origin and -3, 2. So now it might be clear to you that this is a point. So they didn't give me what I need, the slope and the y-intercept. Instead, they gave me a point and this other thing, the origin. I hope you guys know what the origin is. If you don't, it would be good to go back and review the coordinate plane intro video, because this is a basic you're supposed to know. But the origin is that point where the x and y axes cross. So it is a point. It's a very special point. It's the point 0, 0. And you're just expected to know that. So that's not on the formula sheet. You need to know this vocab word, the origin. Okay, guys, origin is the point 0, 0. Okay, great. So they gave me what I didn't need. They gave me 2 points. But what I'm going to have to do is use what I have, these points, to find what I need. I need the slope and the y-intercept. Let's do it. First thing we should do is find the slope. So I'll remind you that there's a formula for this as well. The slope formula is on your formula sheet, and it says that the slope, m, is equal to the change in y's, so the second y minus the first y, over the change in x's, the second x minus the first x. Okay, so we will go ahead and plug this in. So this is a point here, so let's call this our second point, meaning that this will be my second x and this will be my second y, sorry. Now you might say, well, where's my first x and my first y? Well, this was a point as well. This was the first point they gave me. So this will be my first x and my first y. Great. And I love it that it's the origin, because it's about to make my life easy, because subtracting 0 is easy. Let's see what I mean. First, I'm supposed to take the second y. Okay, the second y was 2. And then from that, I'm supposed to subtract the first y, but the first y was just 0. Super easy. And that's all going to be over the second x, -3, minus the first x, 0. And now let's simplify. 2 minus 0, of course, is just 2, and -3 minus 0 is just -3. Now, 2 does not divide perfectly by a -3, and this fraction also does not reduce, and so all I'm going to do is pull the negative out front, since I can't leave negatives on the bottom of a fraction. Now, you might be saying, Kate, I don't know much about fractions. Well, you can do this in your TI as well. Okay, so to go from this step to simplify a fraction, you can do it in your TI by pressing the N over D button, typing the 2 in the top and the -3 in the bottom of the fraction. And I'm going to do it along with you, and then pressing the Enter button. And it will tell you that that is equivalent to -2/3. Okay, so your TI can simplify and reduce fractions for you. This particular one doesn't reduce, it just simplifies, pulling the negative out front. So that is my slope, my m. But I told you I need 2 things to write the equation of a line. I need an m and I need a b. So let's now do the work to find b. So I'm going to erase this here to give myself a little bit of room. And now let's do the work to find b. So first we find m and b, and then when we're done, we can plug them into the equation of a line. So how can we find b? Well, there's actually a couple different ways, but my preferred way is to start back with that y equals mx plus b, and plug in what I know. I know what m is. I just figured that out. I have x's and y's in those points I was looking at. The only thing I don't know is b, and so I can use this formula to find b. Let me show you what I mean. So I think the point I'll use is the origin, the point 0, 0, just because it'll make my life easier. But you could just as easily use either point. It doesn't matter, okay? But my y value here is 0, so I'll plug in 0 for my y. The m, the slope that I found, is negative 2/3. My x value here is another 0 from that point, and that's plus b. Well, guys, negative 2/3 times 0 is just 0, and if I add 0 with b, I just get b, and so my b, my y-intercept, is 0 now. Some mathematicians knew that already. We knew that just from looking at the point 0, 0 that it was the y-intercept. But even if you didn't know it, good math works. I find out that my b is 0. So now I have all the information I need to write the equation of a line. We said that if you wanted to write the equation of a line, you had to replace the m and the b in the slope-intercept form with the slope and the intercept. Let's do it. My slope is negative 2/3. Leave the y, y, leave the x, x. My b is 0. Now this is true, absolutely true, but not done yet because it's not simplified. The GED is going to expect that you know what happens when you add 0 to anything. Now you might be saying, Kate, I don't know what happens when I add 0 to some number of x's. That's weird. Yeah, but you know what happens when you add 0 at all. Let me show you what I mean. 5 plus 0 does nothing. You just get 5. 7 plus 0 does nothing. You just get 7. So guess what? Negative 2/3 x, as gross as it is, if I just add 0 to it, will just be itself. So I get y equals negative 2/3 x. And there it is. That is my final answer. That is the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. I am done. All right, if you have any questions about this or any other GED math concept, be sure to drop it in the comments and I'll do my best to answer it.